Murphy, Schiller, and Wilkes is formed with a simple purpose in mind, serving as the one-stop shop for the legal needs of developers, lenders, and others in the commercial real estate industry. Based in Newark, the firm's attorneys represent clients in the most complex real estate transactions and land development proceedings, as well as property taxation, environmental, and real estate litigation matters, and in the acquisition, sale, and leasing of all real estate asset types throughout the country. Their attorneys have broad private and public sector experience coming from top national law firms and high-level governmental positions. Through the development of individualized client-focused strategies, their team works tirelessly to create a blueprint for success and advance their clients' interests in every matter. To learn more, head to murphyllp.com or give them a call at 973-877-6984.
Fact: the cannabis industry is here to stay in New Jersey. What does this mean for you? Well, if you're looking to invest or open a business in the cannabis industry but don't know where to turn to, well, have no fear. With over 12 years of experience in the cannabis sector and one of the original New Jersey cannabis pioneers, I, Dr. David Kunick at UCS Advisors, can help you navigate the cannabis industry and guide you through the investment process. To learn more, head to ucsadvisor.com, where we can help you achieve your greatness.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Greetings from the Garden State. I'm your host, Mike Ham. We are here at the Muscle Mill in Milltown, New Jersey, with Dylan Salva. Dylan, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
But you go by Skutty, so that's the only time I call you Dylan. Skutty's like a way cooler name than Dylan.
Yeah.
But I like that you're all like, you got all the swagged out stuff. I like that.
Yeah, I trademarked it.
Yeah.
This is the new logo. This is my original one, but now on my website you can only
get that one.
Yeah.
Where does Skutty come from? Is this like what people called you?
Me and a couple of my buddies went out one night to Bar A.
See, this is what I'm talking about. We just talked about this off mic. Most creative stuff comes from drinking. But
Yeah. And I meant to say a real word, and this came out, and then everyone started saying it the whole night, and then it kind of stuck, and I was like, man, I changed my handles to it, my social media, and then it's what everyone calls me.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, my last name's Ham, so obviously you could imagine that I have a lot of nicknames, but really none of them really make any sense for this show. But anyway, so we're going to learn a little bit about you and kind of your backstory and then kind of what you're doing now. And this is going to be a 2-segment episode so that everybody listening kind of knows what they're getting into. So are you from Jersey originally? Are you a born and raised in Jersey guy?
Yeah, I was born in New Brunswick, grew up in North Brunswick.
Okay.
Still mainly here. I go back and forth from here in California, but predominantly here.
Yeah. And then, what were some things that you were doing, early life? What were some things that young Skutty was into?
Honestly, just sports, man, football and basketball and video games. My parents were coaches and helped me out with all the sports stuff throughout, all the way up until high school. So everything was pretty much revolved around sports, and my dad had me start out in the gym in 8th grade, so that's kind of when I fell in love with that. And then, sports through high school was my whole Jersey experience pretty much.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I dedicated everything to.
Right. I mean, we have similar backgrounds in that way because, I grew up playing baseball basically, my entire life, through high school, through college, coached in college for a while. And then it was but then after a while, I just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So now here I am and running a podcast. So you could see the obvious career progression there. But so at what point? So you said 8th grade was when you started getting in the gym, doing that kind of stuff. Maybe we should just tell people who you are and what you do. So why are you an interesting person for me to have on this show? I know that's a very loaded question. I should be able to tell them that, but we're gonna let you do it.
I would say it's the people that I'm working for.
Okay.
It definitely boosts interest. I'm Fetty Wap and Kevin Gates, personal trainers and bodyguards, and that's kind of when everything started to pick up for me.
Yeah.
But I also have my own training brand. I'm a part owner of a cannabis company out in California. I do a lot of things. I'm a signed fitness athlete. That's probably my favorite career because that's my passion. That's what drives me to go hard in the gym.
Yeah.
Better my physique every day because those companies, I'm on contract. I have numbers I need to hit. I have to look a certain way. So
yeah,
That's probably my favorite out of all the career ones. I mean, because that's not like like my regular 9 to 5 is the bodyguard and trainer stuff. So the fitness athlete, that's a hobby and a career, fortunately.
Yeah, it's like a side hustle, but also is like a big part of what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so so when sports were finally like over, was it just kind of like immediately into like the bodybuilding stuff and what you're doing now and all that? Or was there like, did you have to kind of go through some different channels to eventually get to what you're doing now?
Yeah, it was weird, man. I felt, because I made the NFL for a very short period of time.
So you just like left that part out earlier.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I was in rookie mini camp with the Redskins, who's now the Commanders.
Just like the dumbest name.
Yeah, and then OTAs with the Atlanta Falcons. And I did like some local day stuff with the Giants and Jets and worked out for the Seahawks. Like I had a decent couple month run at it.
Yeah. More than most people will ever get.
Yeah, that's what people always tell me, but I'm like, man, that's how you look at it, but I was this close to still be playing right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause I'm only 28, and it wasn't about the money or just my name on jerseys. Like, you just get to play football for a living. Like,
that's true.
It's crazy to think that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the fact that I got there, and that was my dream since like 5th grade. But so when I got cut, I tried to stay in it. I got cut in 18. So then 19, I did the Spring League in Austin, Texas. That was like a 16-day pro showcase. I had a lot of pros on my team there, former pros. And then after that, my agent got me signed to a team in the CFL, and that season folded because of the virus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then I got signed by an AFL team, like the Head Arena League. Like, they get paid a lot of money. Like, a lot of those dudes on the team I got signed by were making 6 figures. 3 days after I got signed, a player on a different team broke his neck and sued the league for millions, and the whole league folded. So then I was kind of like, all right, maybe this is
like all the signs are pointing to be like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Like you made it out alive, you're healthy. Yeah. I was like, all right, maybe it's a sign.
Yeah.
So then that's kind of, it forced me to realize, like, all right, like, you know, take it and run with it. Like, start getting into the fitness stuff. That's your passion. And then it's funny how like people say like chase your dream or just follow your passion, your heart, whatever. I'll never forget, I was in here on an incline bench. I think I was repping out like the 130-pound dumbbells. I was in here alone. It was late at night like this. I'm just in here screaming, blasting music, and I posted a couple of the videos on Instagram. And I guess I came up on Fetty Wap's For You page like a couple days in a row. Oh. And then I was just out to eat one night, and I checked my phone to see what time it was, and it's like Fetty Wap 1738 DM you. I put my phone back in my pocket, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? And I took it back out, and it was him. And he's like, yo, bro, you still training people? I was like, yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, of course, bro. He's like, yeah, you popped up on my For You page, whatever. Gave me his number. And then the coolest thing ever for me in my training career is that this is the first gym, and I was the first person he ever worked out with in his life.
Really?
Like, when we came in this gym, it was the first time he ever lifted weights in his life.
At like what age? I have no idea how old Fetty Wap is.
He was, at the time, he was 29, because I was 26.
Okay. So he's like, well, and you said you're
now
what?
He's 31. I'm 28.
Okay, yeah.
But that was always crazy to me. Like, when he told me that, I was like, oh man, it's a huge milestone for both of us. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
right. Well, definitely.
Yeah, it was cool. It was just cool to hear him knowing that I was the first person to get him into a gym and train him. You know?
Right. And so so I'm just now curious. So when you originally posted like those first couple videos that he wound up seeing, did you have like, and this is just for my social media knowledge, did you have like a decent following then? Because you obviously do now, but did you have like, or was it just kind of...
I wasn't verified on Instagram or TikTok. TikTok, I probably only had like 10,000 followers at the time. Now I have like 110 verified on both. Instagram, I'm almost at 50K. I definitely didn't... I want to say I was in the 20s maybe, 30s.
Yeah.
So it was like, it wasn't terrible.
No, it's still pretty good.
It wasn't like...
more than what we got, yeah.
Yeah, but I wasn't like verified. It wasn't
right,
like, you know, like the obvious, like, oh, that's how he saw you. It was kind of just like...
a random thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's also a Jersey guy, I at least know that. Like,
yeah, he's right up in North Jersey, yeah. So we're only an hour, like 50, a little less than 50 minutes apart.
Yeah. Okay, so, but you were training people prior to him. right?
Yeah, just regular.
Yeah.
Whoever wanted to get in
Joe
shape,
schmoes.
get healthier. Yeah.
Yeah, right. People like me. So,
And Anthony Brown.
Okay.
Who made his first NFL debut this past weekend for the Ravens at quarterback. He's a Jersey guy too.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool people from Jersey, which I think people don't always realize. But okay, so when he's in this gym and he tells you it's his first time ever working out, are you like, oh shit, like I need to make sure that this goes really well because I want to keep him as a client? Or is it just kind of like, I know what I'm doing and we're just going to take him through the exact same thing that I would take anybody through and then just go from there? Because there's a lot of trust in that client trainer relationship, obviously.
Yeah. I think I started off on a good note when he called me and he was like, I want to start tomorrow. I'll pay you as much money as you want up front. Like, let's just get it going. I was like, I'm not going to take any money from you. I'll give you my regular client rate.
Yeah.
Well, I charge people at the end of the week. I was like, that's just how we're going to do it. And then when he came in here, we're, you know when you're training someone or when you're working out, like if you're doing like a flat press, you know where you're supposed to feel it, your pecs and your triceps. So I'd have him do an exercise and I'd be like, how's that feel? And then he would laugh and look up and he'd be like, I don't know, I never did this shit before. So in my mind, I was like, all right, I'm going to fucking hammer this dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to take it easy. I'm not going to talk him through shit. I'll make sure his form's good.
Sure, right.
He's not going to get hurt.
Whatever, yeah.
I was like, but he don't even know what he's supposed to be feeling.
Right.
And as long as I can see that it's going right and he's doing it right, and every once in a while I'll point out like, hey, you feel it right here, you know what I mean, when we're doing a curl, I know it's working. So I was just trying to, he was like bedridden for a month. Because then the next workout, he kept talking about how sore he was, and he was like, all right, well, leg day then, I want you to have to carry me down the stairs, which I literally did.
Really?
Yeah. So,
there's a lot of stairs getting up in here.
Yeah, and they're tiny. Like, if he missed one, you're going all the way down.
All the way to the bottom.
He had his, like, full body weight on me. So it started off like that, and then, I mean, you know how that is. Like, he's an A-list celebrity. I mean, you get busy, so we couldn't keep it consistent, but we did it enough to where he like loved it, and he would hit me up. Like sometimes we'd be in here at 3 a.m. working out, or I'd go up to his apartment complex in their gym. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it was everything just aligned right. You know what I mean? Like I did things the right way. He noticed that because he said a million trainers that hit him up weekly, like asking for a certain amount of money up front or charging him like $500 a session. It's like crazy stuff. Like, you know, you still got to treat them like a normal person, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, that's what they are.
Yeah.
You know? Like, they just want to come and get healthier. Like, that's literally why he's probably asking you to work out together.
Yeah, you wanted to get bigger, so I'm not going to try and capitalize off that. My capitalization would just be, like, giving them a healthy, better life. You know what I mean?
And then, obviously, like, you still maintain that relationship even now.
Yeah, we became best friends pretty quick.
Yeah.
To the point where one day, and I still think to this day he did it on purpose so he didn't have to work out. But his apartment gym was still closed at the time. So I bought him a bench from Target that you set up and all that. And I bring it to him. I brought some dumbbells, bands, like supplements, a bunch of stuff. The company I'm sponsored by, Enhance, sent me a custom package for him. Yeah. And we're in there, and I didn't know you had to like put all the screws in and all that. So we called the front desk and like, oh yeah, we got everything you need. And then like I hear it on the phone, like them say we have everything, and I see his face, and he was thinking like, fuck, I didn't think they were gonna have it. He was like, bro, he's like, since we're like brothers now, he's like, you just want to be my bodyguard too, so we can hang out more and you can make more money. I was like, yeah, sure. He's like, you want to go get lunch? I was like, yeah, all right. And it just completely slipped my mind that we were supposed to work out. He had this big grin on his face. I'm like, you motherfucker.
Yeah. So I think that's really interesting too, because like at any point in this time frame, and I granted he's just like a regular guy, you're hanging out, you're friends, whatever. Mm-hmm. Does it like, do you ever kind of like look back at kind of like how you got to this point, and you're ever just kind of like, oh shit, like this is kind of wild that I'm like now his bodyguard and his trainer, even though he doesn't really want to work out all that much anyway, but like doing stuff like that and like working with someone like that and other people that you've worked with too, since then, does it ever just kind of like click in your brain that it's just kind of like, this is pretty wild that I'm at like this spot in life?
Yeah, I've had that conversation.
I know it's like a heavy
with myself.
question.
No, it is, but I know what you're saying. Like I've definitely had that talk with myself. Like I'll never forget, in 5th grade, I was at home. Me and my mom, my dad, my dog were in the family room. And it was the game when the Vikings were playing the Packers, when Randy Moss, like, fake mooned the crowd. Yep. It was that game. And I was playing knee football with my dog, like little football. We were just messing around. And when he did that, like, Brett Favre is my favorite football player of all time. But when Randy Moss did that, I stood up and I was like, I'm going to play in the NFL one day. and my dad was like, yeah, you just got to work hard, 100%, like, effort and respect, and you'll get there. My mom was like, yeah, why not? And then I got there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and then I thought back to that moment. And then I knew I did everything it took to get there in preparation. So when I got cut, though I felt I lost my identity and I was down about it, I knew I could accomplish any great thing I wanted to accomplish. You know what I mean? So when I got cut and I figured out it was fitness, I was working at a YMCA up in Massachusetts. And I was working for another company where I would go and train like super wealthy people in their apartment complexes or home gyms. And I just remembered, I was like, I'm doing this now to get good at my job, but I'm going to train like celebrities and pro athletes and stuff. Like, I know I'm going to get there because I knew whatever I'm going to be doing in life, it's going to be at the very top of that field. So that's kind of what always drove me, is knowing that I could get to where I want to be if I just put in the work and I do the right things to get there. So that's kind of like how I reflect on it.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, I mean, it's
pretty good.
Yeah, I don't really.
You just put the work in it and you make it happen. You like manifest that shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think that's a great answer, and I think kind of like ties like the early stuff, the football career, and like all that kind of stuff to like what you're doing now. Mm-hmm. And then did your relationship with him kind of like open up any more doors, kind of moving forward from then until now?
Yeah. So I was saying I'm Kevin Gates' bodyguard. Yeah. We were down. I was in Miami with Fetty. He got booked for all of Swim Week. You know, like the models in the bikinis for walking the runway, which was heaven.
I may have heard of it, yeah.
Heaven. Oh, my gosh, bro. I was like a kid in a candy shop. I was like, we coming back every year? Can you book them next year? I'm going up to promoters and shit. Like, can you get them?
Yeah.
So he killed that. We did that all week. And then this was actually crazy. So one of my best friends moved out that way, like at 40 minutes from Miami. So every time we would get booked, I would stay a couple days with him. Fetty left. He went to, I think, visit some family in Georgia. Like, everybody went home. I stayed a couple days. I was supposed to fly home Friday night because I had the Jersey Shore Basketball League, the JSBL?
I don't, but
like current NBA players playing it.
Okay.
My team won the championship this year. It was actually crazy.
No big deal.
Yeah. Like a bunch of pros playing it. Like it's known as one of the best pro-am basketball leagues in the world. And I was going to fly home because it was the first round of the playoffs. And my flight kept getting delayed. And the third time it got delayed, I was like, man, I'm going to miss the game. So I'm just going to reschedule it, fly home Sunday, go out and party with my boy. So we go out in Fort Lauderdale. Somehow at 6 a.m., we end up in a strip club in Miami. And I remember I was sitting there, like, in a chair, just, like, looking at the floor or whatever, just hanging. And then that song, I'm just thinking when my dick comes on. And then two strippers walk right by me, right in front of me, like, oh, my God, that's him over there. And I look up, and it's Kevin Gates, and he's got a section full of women. So I'm like, and everyone that I'm with, they're like, go tell him, like, you're Fetty's bodyguard. Like, just, that'll be an in, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
And then I'm staring at him, and he looks up and see, like, he's far away, but he looks up and sees me staring at him. I'm like this big-ass white dude. I had a glowing white shirt on. It's a dark strip club. We make eye contact. He gives me, like, a weird look, like,
stop
you know
looking
what
at
I
me.
mean? It wasn't like a mean one, but it was like, and then he looked away and I looked away, and then we both looked back at the same time. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go talk to him because maybe he thinks we know each other.
Right.
So I'm standing there. He's talking to somebody. The dude walks away as like one of the servers, and he turns to me. He's like, "What's up?" He shakes my hand and gives me like a big hug. And I was like, "What's up, bro? Like, I heard your song come on, and I saw that was you. It was kind of, you know." And then I started telling him I'm Fetty's bodyguard and trainer. And then he's like, oh, man, I hope I get rich and famous one day. I could hire you to be my bodyguard and trainer. So I'm like, all right. Like, then we end up hanging out for 2 hours. He gives me his number. And then I just randomly text him one day. I'm like, hey, bro, like, if you ever want to meet up, work out, like, you know, we could do that. He's like, I'm sending you my manager's number, contact him. I want you to come on tour with me. And I'm like, all right, like,
just like
you know
that.
what I mean? I thought this was going to be a regular day. I remember I was at Bagel One in North Brunswick just eating breakfast. I just left here doing cardio. Text his manager. He's like, yeah, tour starts in 8 days. Like, you down? I was like, yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a 2-month tour around the whole U.S.
Yeah.
Like, the only states I don't think I've been at this point is Hawaii and, like, Alaska, and maybe, like, 1 or 2 others.
Right.
But now I've been through pretty much the whole country, which is awesome. So that was the door that Fetty inadvertently opened for me. You know what I mean? Just being in that scene and around all that. And what's crazy is I was supposed to be on that tour, Kevin's tour, for 2 shows with Fetty. And Fetty had some other stuff going on. He couldn't end up doing it, so I went on the tour. But that's kind of how all that happened. And then with Kevin, I've got locked in with, like, a bunch of people, like some pro wrestlers. I got invited to WWE training camp in 2020, so cool. I did that.
Yeah.
That was hell. That's a tough. That
we
shit
had
isn't fake.
Courtney Roselle. I don't even know if you know who that is, but she lives up in, like, Jersey City, Hoboken. She was on the Rocks Titan Games, and we had her on the show.
Sick.
And I did, like, a boxing class at a UFC gym in Hoboken with her, like, a couple weeks ago. And she's, like, an animal. But she did the WWE training camp too, and said it was, like, intense as fuck. Like,
it was harder than NFL rookie minicamp.
Yeah.
I was like, I woke up the third day. We were doing, like, triple sessions. I really couldn't get out of bed.
Yeah.
I was like, man, we got 1,000 more sit-ups. Like, you got to flip and land on your back. Pretending you got. It was
take
just,
the bumps.
It was crazy, man.
Yeah. It is pretty wild. Yeah, I like that whole thing. I mean, like, I grew up watching wrestling. I don't know, like, if you did too, but
I did.
Just
I
like
was big on
the
it.
stuff, like, everyone makes fun of it because it's, like, fake and whatever. But it's like they do. Like, some of those guys and girls are, like, incredible athletes, and they do some, like, wild stuff, and that's like a grind. They're, like, working every week for forever.
Yeah.
They just, like, don't take any time off.
Yeah, it's choreographed, but it's definitely not fake. You know what I mean? Like, there was no faking flipping on your back on a wood mat or bouncing off steel wires just covered with a little rubber.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's backs had black and blue across it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was real.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I think what we're going to do, just because I'm looking at the clock and kind of know where we're at, so we're going to take our break for this episode, and then we'll be back and we'll kind of talk about some of the other stuff that you have going on now and how people can, like, learn more about you and whatever. So this is the Greetings from the Garden State podcast. I'm Mike Ham. We're here at the Muscle Mill in Milltown, New Jersey with Skutty. We'll be right back. Minuteman Press Westfield is a full-service printing, mailing, and marketing design firm. They specialize in apparel like the shirt I wore to Podfest 2023, which they screen printed specifically for me. To reach Minuteman Press Westfield for any of your printing needs, call 908-857-4644 or email westfield@minutemanpress.com. Bored of going to the same park? Want to try a new local adventure? Well, then check out NJspots.com, your home for finding a new spot to discover right here in New Jersey. With dozens of maps to check out, local hiking spots, family-friendly places, and seasonal suggestions, NJspots is waiting for you to find somewhere new to explore. That's NJspots.com. The Mayo Performing Arts Center is the heart of arts and entertainment in Morristown, New Jersey. MPAC presents over 200 events annually and is home to an innovative children's arts education program. To see MPAC's upcoming schedule of world-class concerts, stand-up comedy, family shows, and more, head to mayoarts.org or just click the link in our show notes. All right, so we're back for our second and final segment of this episode of Greetings from the Garden State. I'm Mike Ham. We're here with Skutty at the Muscle Mill in Milltown, New Jersey. So first segment, we kind of learned a little bit about the background and some of, like, the first, like, working with Fetty and all the other stuff that you've been doing. But I do want to make sure that we touch on some of the other stuff that you do, because we, like, talked about like sponsored athletes and different things like that you do right now. So what are some of those things? Like, let's just hit, like, kind of a couple of them, and then we'll do, like, a little bit deeper diving to kind of, like, what they are and how you work with them and all that.
Yeah, so, I mean, one of them's right here. This is Built Beyond Your Limit Training. This is a great drink.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. The Tropical Punch is my favorite, but they didn't send me that one this month.
Sons of bitches.
Hey, I get it. I'm not complaining. It helps.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't complain about free shit either. So
Yeah, you just say thank you and smile. But I got connected with the owner, Joey Firestone. He's located out in Miami. This drink's new, but this is one of the sponsors I'm most excited to be partnered with. It's booming, like it's in stores everywhere, and they have current and former like legends of the fitness game, like Jay Cutler.
okay,
I think he's a 6-time Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
He's one of the guys. Mike Rashad, who I met, he's friends with Kevin. He's big in fitness. Regan Grimes, a bunch of beautiful women who are like Instagram models are signed with them. So I'm actually flying out to LA January 12th through 14th. We're going to be doing the LA Fit Expo. Built has a booth, so I'm going to be one of the athletes there.
cool.
So I'll get to hang with Jay and all them. But yeah, I mean, pretty much all my sponsors are tied into fitness because that's my hobby, that's my job. And I don't know, man. It's like, I'll never forget, I was in my college dorm, and my roommate, he was my backup tight end, my roommate Max, one of my best friends ever. He was the most positive dude, always helping me out, always pushing me. He was like, so this is before I even had my combine, my pro day, all that. He's like, so after you retire from the NFL, he's like, what do you want to do? And I was always watching like fitness expo stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
I was like, honestly, man, I just want to be a fitness athlete. Like, I want to be at all these, I want to be on contract. I want to be a face of a company. I want to be at all these expos. Like, just that, the energy is crazy. Then that was in 2017. You fast forward to 2021 or 2020. I signed my first deal with Enhanced Labs, the supplement company that sponsors me, which I just earned like a full contract salary with them this past year.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool. Like when it all happened, I didn't even realize like I was doing it. And then I took a step back and I had 4 sponsors. I had Enhanced Labs, Built, Team Personal Record, who's owned by Larry Wheels. I don't know if you know who he is. He's one of the most like renowned fitness freaks of all time. He has like powerlifting records in 4 different weight classes. He's only my age.
Oh wow.
He's huge in the fitness game. And Eat Clean, bro. That's Jersey's finest right there. Because with bodybuilding and any type of fitness, getting your meals in is the number one key. Like nutrition comes before all.
Right.
You can't perform in the gym if you're not eating right.
True.
So once I landed that one, that was like, I took a step back. I was like, yeah, you made it a little bit, but I'm not even a quarter where I want to be at. I finally got my foot in the door.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was a great feeling. And
I feel like, I mean, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like, well, at least for me with the show, it was like once I got one, I was like, I can get as many as I want. You know what I mean? Because it's like people, it almost gives you like a validation, more partly for yourself, but to show other people like, hey, they're willing to spend money on me and get behind me and what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And now it's like I can get more because it just kind of gives me that street cred almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then because other companies see that companies are working with you and how long you've been with those companies, so they know your worth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of that helped too. Like when my accounts got verified, that was a blessing. I mean, it doesn't change as much as you would think, but I do everything for business purposes. I don't want a blue check. Like I have people DMing me saying, "Hey, do you have a plug for the blue check?" I'm like, "Bro, are you saying?" You're asking if I paid and you're willing to pay money for this?
Yeah.
Like, no. Like, all I did was anyone on earth that has an account, whether it's 10 followers or 10 million, you can go on your account and request verification.
Apply for it, yeah.
Yeah, I'll never forget. I had an important business meeting, requested it because I knew I was going to be away from my phone for like 3 hours. Threw my phone in the car, out of sight, out of mind. Came back from the meeting, I was verified. Like, I was going crazy. I was like, man, finally, bro. Like, this is sick. I didn't think I was going to get it.
Yeah.
But, like, that helps out a lot because it shows that what you're doing at your field, you're getting noticed for it.
Right.
Not to say that without it, because it's just social media. But a lot of it, like my companies that I'm contracted with, I'm not in TV commercials. I'm not in YouTube ads. Like, my brand with them, my name is on social media.
Right.
So getting verified was awesome. And then, I don't know, the companies, I've actually gotten, I want to say, almost in all 4 different fields, like, you know, this being the drink, the supplements, the team personal record is like they have clothing and a lot of like injury preventative stuff.
Sure.
So belts, wraps, sleeves, all that, best in the industry. And then Eat Clean, bro. I've had companies in all 4 different aspects, like different companies reach out to me and offer me more money in every single one category than all these, but I would never chase money over my name.
Right.
Like, I want to be sponsored and represented by the best and by the supplements I've been taking, the drinks I've been using, the wraps I use, the stuff that helps me go. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm not going to sell myself.
Yeah, people are following you. They trust you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you're giving them shit, they're going to be like,
exactly.
well, I don't trust Skutty anymore.
Yeah, like, I've had people DM me like, oh, you always promote this Eat Clean, bro. Like, you only do it because they pay you. I was like, you really think, like, all right, you think if McDonald's wanted to promote me, you'd see me eating Big Macs 4 times a day? Like, are you that ignorant?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, of course I eat it. It's healthy. It tastes good. I'm not going to lie about it.
Yeah.
You can literally, for yourself, with me or without being sponsored, order from Eat Clean, bro, and find out yourself. Like, I'm not lying to you. You don't have to assume. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that blows my mind.
Right.
But everyone that follows me now is pretty much, I've gotten into their heads like, yeah, like, I live by this shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm fortunate in that aspect. I got great companies behind me.
Yeah. Okay, so it's funny, like, because we're talking about, like, you live by this stuff. So I don't know why I just thought about this, but can you take me through kind of just, like, a normal day, like, kind of, like, in what you're doing, like, with your business stuff, and then obviously, like, the training side, kind of, like, what goes in a Skutty day? Right
now, because we're off tour, with that aspect, we have, like, they're called one-offs. It's like we'll fly out for a weekend, do a show, and come back. So when I don't have those, like, my weeks are pretty much, I'll wake up early, I'll come and do 40 minutes of fasted cardio here, eat breakfast, wait, eat another meal, wait, eat another meal. Then I'll train somebody. Like, I have 3 clients that I train on FaceTime that I kept from that, like, COVID era. Like, we just stuck with it. They didn't want another trainer. They didn't want to join a gym.
Is that hard to do on FaceTime?
I love it because they have home gyms.
Oh, okay.
So I just set the phone up. You know what I mean? It's as if you're working out right in front of me. And they're 3 great women. I'm going to train them for good. That's, like, who I want to train in person. You know what I mean? Outside of celebrities. Yeah. But obviously, I'll train anyone, but just right now. And I'll train them, eat again, go to the gym, do some cardio, eat again.
Doing a lot of cardio over the course of the day, which is, like, surprising to me because I feel like guys that lift a lot don't always do a lot of cardio.
Oh, it ain't shit, man. I put the treadmill up to, like, 5 incline and walk on 3.4. It's like a speed walk.
It's like, that sounds great.
Yeah, it's to keep me hungry because I'm eating. My coach has me eating 6 meals a day. Yeah, and it's like 100 grams of carbs each meal. So if I don't do this 40 minutes in the morning and like 20 after I lift, I'm just gonna feel bloated and gross all day. And then you want to put on weight without putting as little bit of fat on as possible with that, you know. So yeah, it's pretty much just work out, eat, train a couple people. I love playing video games.
Well, yeah, you can't be doing, like, shit all the time. You gotta, like, shut down for a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't been going out recently. I don't drink anymore. I was never big on drinking at all, really, honestly. But, you know, like, when you're in college and stuff, like, a couple times a week, you can. Even if you're not drinking heavy, a couple is still...
Right, more than what you should be, I guess, having. I don't know if that's true.
With what I'm doing, at least, I feel like it
course.
regresses my progress in the gym.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I have a bodybuilding coach. Trying to get up to like 280 pounds, and then we're gonna pick a show and cut for that. And I want to try and compete soon. So
fun fact, and I know you can probably tell, but my dad was a bodybuilder, like, way back in the day, and then, like, power lifted all the way through, like, his 40s and stuff like that. Yeah, I have a picture of it. I'll show it to you after. But
he competed and everything.
He said that he went to one show. He has like the picture that I have of him is him in my grandma's backyard. Like, with, like, the Speedo on and, like, flex, like, posing. Yeah. He said he did the first round, and then he saw, like, the rest of the guys come through, and he was just like, this is insane. It was like, that was probably in the 1980s, I guess.
Yeah.
I think probably the 80s. He was born in 1956, maybe, like, even, like, late 70s, early 80s. And it was like the Wild West. Like there was no rules. Nobody knew what the fuck was going on. So guys were just like all juiced up out of their minds, and he's just like there, and he was in like unbelievable shape and looked great, but he just was like, this isn't for me. And then went down the powerlifting route. So he did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
hey, if you competed, you did it.
All right. Yeah, you did it. Exactly. Yeah. So, and then for some of the other stuff that you're doing, I think you said you had like you're part owner in a cannabis company too.
Yeah.
Do you do like other stuff like that, or is that like one of the only other thing that you do besides?
Like fitness and stuff? Yeah. So those are with my 2 business partners that live out in California.
Okay.
They actually. I don't even mean to do this, but this is their shirts designed.
You're like all on brand today. Yeah. You got like the drinks, your stuff, their stuff. Like you're ready to go.
The hoodie and the hat and the drinks, that was on purpose. The shirt.
But just like a generic black shirt. But yeah.
I knew my arms wouldn't look too small in it. But yeah, that's
that's really the key to the whole episode, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, so they live out in Cali. They made my personal training website.
Okay.
It's like I have like, if people want to fill out the form for one-on-one custom online coaching, that it has that. It has like my pre-written programs based off what you want to do. You can read the description, order one of those, do those monthly. You know what I mean, like workouts and stuff. Diets are up there, all that stuff. So they do that for me, and then they're also into real estate. So we're going to get, when I fly out there, we're going to get into like demo and stuff. So I'm going to be able to like break shit and do cool stuff like that. Yeah. A little extra workout.
Right.
So with them, we have the cannabis company, Flower. And outside of fitness, that's really all I do, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, if anything pops up, I'll mention it. But yeah, I think that's the only like non-fitness stuff I do.
Right. No, that's great. Like, man, like I think it's cool because it kind of like it's entrepreneurial. Like all the shit that you do is entrepreneurial, which I think is awesome as someone that likes to think at least that I'm entrepreneurial. Mm-hmm. But I do, before we get kind of like wrapped up with this episode, I do want to make sure, because we talked about it before we started recording, that we kind of talked about like this place real quick, just to kind of give them like a little bit of a bump, because they let us, I mean, granted it's whatever time it is, like this is the latest I've ever recorded an episode, but they let us use the space, which is cool. So maybe talk about the Muscle Mill a little bit and kind of just like your relationship with them here.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a privately owned gym. I've been here for, I want to say 3 years now. And the owner, Michelle, I mean, she's amazing. She's my bodybuilding trainer in here. She's way more muscular than me. I'm not afraid to admit it. A lot more intense. Yeah, so she's just created a good environment. You know, like since I compete and I do athletic stuff, she grants me 24-hour access every day of the week, which, you know, no other gym's doing that for anyone.
Right.
And it's just it's a good vibe. Like everyone, you don't see people like wasting time on phones, like doing all this social media, like BS. Everyone comes in here, works out hard, supports each other. Like everyone's saying positive things to each other every day.
Yeah.
You know, it's like one of those. It's like a family. Like
right.
I just got her Christmas card with her husband Dave yesterday. So I'm a trainer here as well. She's like the top dog, but she allowed me to be a trainer here. So I was gonna say, whoever watches this, if they're in Jersey, if they want to come in for free for a day and get a free training session with me, I would do that. Or just if they come in for a day for free, they don't have to train with me.
Yeah,
it's up to them. They just DM me.
Okay.
And say they found me on here. I'll do that for them.
Yeah.
Because you know, this place has really become like, this is my home. I spend most of my time here. You know what I mean? So I'm real fortunate to have found a place like this.
Yeah. It's good to have, I mean, especially when it's like something that's such a huge part of your life and you obviously spend a lot of time here. Like you need to like it. It would really suck if it was terrible, you know? But no, I think that's awesome. And I'll make sure we'll figure out how we're going to like set that up, or whether we put something in the show notes or post something on Instagram or whatever, on mine, and to try to like direct people back to that so that they can take advantage of that. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. And it's like, I think the most people I've ever seen in here at one time is 11. Like I've never had to wait for a machine in my life. So if you're someone who's
there's a lot of stuff like in this space.
Oh so, yeah, and it's all old school equipment. It's just straight pig iron. So this is like this is the spot. You know what I mean? If you go to a gym and you can't find weights with rust on them or nothing, you're in the wrong spot, you know?
No, I think I agree with that.
There's no grit there.
Yeah. Awesome. So where can people go to learn more about you and the stuff that you have going on? Like, what are some of the places that you would want to send people?
I really just I have everything. I have YouTube, which I haven't really started yet. I would say TikTok and Instagram.
Okay. Mainly
Instagram for the fitness stuff. TikTok, I kind of just sit in my car and scream at the phone. That's become like my niche. It's comedy though. It's good. They all go viral. It's good jokes.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, if people want to laugh, they can go there. But if they want to, look into more of the fitness side of things, it's just my Instagram, and I got the link in my bio with all my sponsors and my website. So.
And then what is the handle? We got to plug the handle at. I think it's at D_Skutty.
I
know that because I typed it in today. The thing. But at D_Skutty, I think
underscore,
it is. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Awesome. And then from there, they can get to everywhere, which is great.
Yeah.
So, all right. Yeah. So we'll make sure that we put that in the show notes so that way people can go check it out. And like I said, we'll figure out a way like where we're going to put the stuff for like the training thing. Mm-hmm. But this was great. Like, thanks for having me down here. It was great getting to know you a little bit more. But thank you for having me here.
It was a lot of fun, bro. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So everybody listening, just to recap, this has been the Greetings from the Garden State podcast. I'm Mike Ham. We were here at the Muscle Mill in Milltown, New Jersey with Dylan Salva, a.k.a. Skutty. Thank you for listening, and we will catch you next time.